Now let me first and foremost say, if y'all hear a child crying in the background, that's just my 5-year-old son getting his hair done. He's tender-headed. No children were harmed in the making of this video. Second of all, the Lil Durk trial has started. We finally get opening statements, and boy, oh boy, was the drama wing.
Opening statements begin today in the trial of rapper Lil Durk, who's accused of a murder for hire plot. Police say that he planned to hit on a rival rapper, Quando Rondo, as revenge for the death of a friend. Tonight on ABC News Live, our Morgan Norwood lays out what happened after prosecutors say Lil Durk allegedly found out where his target would be. Take a look.
Court records then lay out a step-by-step picture of how prosecutors argued the rest played out.
Ultimately, fast forward with this bounty already in place, information was gathered that in California, one of the people that were involved in the killing of his friend would be in California, specifically in LA. So Lil Durk, along with his co-defendants, supposedly flew out to Los Angeles.
On August 2022, OTF members and affiliates ran up on Quando Rondo and his cousin at a gas station.
Prosecutors allege two of the co-defendants came out of the vehicle and then started shooting. One of them is alleged to have used a machine gun, according to prosecutors.
Two of the co-defendants come out of the vehicle and they start shooting. In fact, one of them supposedly used a machine gun and ultimately end up shooting the deceased, who was not the intended target.
But instead killed his cousin. So now that murder is what has Lil Durk on trial as the organizer and the operational nucleus of OTF as a criminal enterprise/music collective, according to the prosecution.
5 of Banks' associates are also facing charges. Banks has pleaded not guilty.
And you see, Lil Durk is pleading not guilty. But today, he might have let a majority of his street following down. Yep, all the OG street niggas is like, whoa, wait a minute. I was never expecting this defense from Lil Durk.
I cannot believe what Lil Durk's defense is. We have just heard his defense make their opening statements, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm absolutely floored. You know what they're trying to do? They're blaming it all on Vonnie. Now, I don't know if people are going to go as far as to say that he telling on Vonnie, but he basically is blaming everything on Vonnie. They're basically making this whole case. They showed the entire opening statement, right? Bear in mind that the prosecution, they showed various pictures, videos, still images of multiple attempts on Quando's life, the actual murder of Lil Pab, the footage of that, footage from Durk's music videos, footage from apparently still images of them when they tried to kill Quando in Waycross, Georgia. It was a whole presentation. When the defense were up there, they basically showed only a couple pictures, and the one picture they showed the whole time was just a picture of Vonnie with King Von. They said it's all Vonnie. Vonnie was King Von's cousin. They said his nickname was Cuz because he was King Von's cousin. His whole identity was based around the fact that he was King Von's cousin, and he was the only one pushing slide for Von. They're all literally directly pointing the finger at Vonnie, saying Vonnie did it. Vonnie's admitting to the government that he did it. He's turned snitch to try and save himself. Durk had nothing to do with it. They're saying that Vonnie had the most to gain by sliding for Von. They're saying that Vonnie was the guy that was driving the Hellcat away from the scene when King Von got shot. They're saying Vonnie tried to speed King Von to the hospital the day that he died. They down near said Vonnie was holding King Von in his arms, telling him he loved him before he took him to the hospital the last time they ever spoke. They basically said that it was Vonnie that has the motivation to slide. It was all Vonnie's idea. Vonnie was organizing everything. Vonnie got the guns, Vonnie got the cars, Vonnie got the sliders, Vonnie got the killers. He did everything. And Durk did nothing. They're blaming it all on Vonnie. I couldn't believe it. Now look, I'm not sure what people are going to categorize this as. I mean, is it telling if somebody is already cooperating with the state against you? Is there such thing as reverse telling? Can you tell back? If somebody works with the state and tells on you, can you tell back? But basically, Durk and his team are making it very clear it was all Vonnie. He's saying it's all Vonnie. Apparently, when they arrested Vonnie, he was staying in a suite at a hotel in Chicago with his girlfriend. He said the cops busted into the suite and arrested him. And the defense is saying, oh, when the cops interviewed him, they basically said, you're the leader until you put someone else in charge. You're the one that was in charge of all of this. They were saying Vonnie and King Von go back decades. Their fathers were friends. Their dads just went back years. Vonnie was, doing personal shopping for King Von. They even said, yeah, Vonnie was so locked in with King Von, they had a shared bank account. He was managing all of his money. That was his closest guy. Bro, they even said, I don't know how true this is, but they said that when King Von died and he was in the car on the way to the hospital, he said to Vonnie, why did you let me get shot? Why didn't you do something? And they're saying that devastated Vonnie. He couldn't save King Von, and basically he planned to slide for Von that night. Nothing, they saying Durk didn't do nothing, it was all Vonnie. I don't know if that's going to be believed, but that's the defense. It's insane.
Hey man, now take what you want from that, but to me, that sounds very, very suspicious. And I know a lot of people, they're gonna try to make excuses for Durk, but I just want to remind y'all, this no tolerance snitching campaign on Gunna, one of the people who started this and really ridiculed Gunna publicly was Durk. You see, Durk was living in Atlanta and he was challenging Gunna in his own city. The audacity, the unmitigated gall of him to say what he said about Gunna and then have this criminal defense? Are we serious?
You believe that Gunna told that man, I don't sit up and play games, man. That man told you should have went in there and kept your mouth closed.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I was. I thought you were trying to reverse it. I'm like,
hell no.
I'm like,
I just said I know.
That must have scared you. I'm like, yo, how did?
Huh?
I'm like, I don't even gonna like.
Hell no. I never like. I'm following. I don't know. I never like. Why I didn't? I don't know. I just don't take that shit, Instagram, and all that shit type shit serious. But if you a rat, you a rat. And if you rewind this clip a little bit, I looked into the camera and I told you, if you a rat, I fucking hate you. Cause I love Thug.
Now don't get me wrong, I wasn't in the courtroom. I don't know what's what. And there are defenders of Lil Durk. You see Mo Gagnat, y'all remember him? I don't even know if I'm saying his last name right, but y'all know him, the lawyer for workers. The celebrity lawyer who is a workers' comp lawyer who's been at all these trials. He's been at NBA YoungBoy, now he's at Durk. He had some pushback for Trap Lil Ross. He's saying that he's misrepresenting what actually happened in court today. Let's give it a look.
So this headline and this tweet from Ross, I got to talk to Ross. This is not a story. Durk did not just blame everything on Vonnie. Vonnie got picked up by cops, admitted to everything, admitted to getting the cars, arranging the flights, admitted to getting the guns, buying the ski masks, admitted to getting Sprinter vans and taking everybody around. And then he said, I did all of it while facing life in prison. I did all of it because Durk Banks paid me to do it. And now Durk Banks is in court saying, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. And to put out a headline that says, oh, Durk just blamed everything on Vonnie, what the fuck? No. Putting that out? What the fuck?
Now, Mo, I'm sorry, bro. You're going to have to give me more. If you're going to call out Trap Lil Ross and say that he's capping, you got to give me more. You got to elaborate for me, buddy, because all you just said was, nah, what is he talking about? That's not Durk's defense. Give me Durk's defense, how you interpreted it, as elaborate and as detailed as Trap Lil Ross did. You gave us a 37-second video, whereas to Trap Lil Ross just gave us a 4-minute breakdown. We need some understanding. Until then, I'm not gonna believe you, and I'm gonna look at Trap Lil Ross and say this is what it is. But anyway, man, Seti Nash was there and he gave us everything else other than the Durk snitching details. He talked about OTF jams. He just talked about everything else that happened in that courtroom today.
All right, man, live from the Lil Durk trial, man, here at the Fed building. And we've been tossed a whole bunch of lies. So let me get to my notes. Y'all know we're gonna do notes out here and everything. So Durk didn't have Drew, he didn't have Brian, he didn't have any of that. He had none of those individuals do his opening statement. He had Marissa Goldberg. And the way that she crafted it, she already exposed that the feds were lying about the text messages. So when you say, don't book no flights with my name on it, that wasn't even about nothing about LA. That was about some shows and some other shit. And she said, what sense does it make for him to book it anyways? What got revealed is that Vonnie is the mastermind. Kayvon Grant is the 100% mastermind of all this shit. Him and Jim, they turned snitching. And it's crazy because they admit that the day before, the early morning, they had the location on Quando Rondo, Jim and Jim and Vonnie. And what ends up happening is they decide not to. So what happens is we find out that Your boy Jim, his mouth don't stop working. That boy done operated and cooperated in over 30 cases. So you have that. Then you have Kayvon Grant being the one who did all the drilling and all the setting up. He's the one who did the Blackshear shooting and all that, who's saying, hey, basically, bruh, check this one out. I got something for y'all. I know how to do the stolen cars. I know how to get the guns. I know how to get the ski masks. I know how to do all of that stuff. So you have that. And the way that he told on Lil Durk was simple. It wasn't no, hey, bruh, Durk told me to do this, Durk told me to do that. No, he gave the feds a breadcrumb, and the breadcrumb was simply this. Hey, how this happened? Check the credit cards. So that's why the credit cards became so goddamn important. But what they did reveal today was that, hey, man, he had access to them dang credit cards because they were under what's called astronaut sounds. So he had access because of his little shit and everything that he had going on. It was not what they try to portray. So the feds, we didn't get to hear their opening statement. So you had to check on Trapper Ross for that. He got into the courtroom. It was crazy, bro. It was a lot of people, Durk's family, a lot of media who just decided to do whatever they want to do. That's on the feds to do. But they say basically that Durk's family and everybody was already in California. I'm not gonna say where Durk lived or anything like that, but you won't see any money. They say no money evidence, no bounty, no reward. And yeah. And then D-Ski's lawyer came out, bro, and I ain't gonna lie. If there's somebody who possibly might get away as far as nothing, bro, it would be D-Ski's lawyer. D-Ski lawyer basically dropped a bombshell that said D-Ski has literally, bullshit you not, had nothing to do with none of this. D-Ski just got shit told to pull up, and they talk about him pulling up to a bunch of places, and he was just hungry. He was a hungry OTF artist and all that. So basically, that's why he didn't have a mask, he didn't have a gun, he didn't have nothing. He don't got no text messages going against Quando Rondo or any of that shit. That doesn't exist. And then you had Brown Eyes, and basically, his lawyer might destroy the murder for hire part of it, because he basically said, bro, no money was ever given before August 19th and after August 19th. David Lindsay, Brown Eyes is not a rapper. He ain't in no goddamn videos. He ain't in no raps. He don't do any of that shit. Now, once again, I was not able to look at the opening statements from the DA, from the Fed prosecutors, because basically we weren't in there. It got crazy as hell this early morning, but there y'all go, man. The early shit from the Lil Durk trial, they weren't opening statements, and we about to get back to it.
And of course, the lace-fronted little Mexican piglet came out and said, so, Durk snitching on Vonnie, and don't blame his lawyers. Durk paid for them to defend him and knows what they're going to say. They previously talked about what's the defense strategy. Let's put it all on Vonnie. Snitch on me and I'll snitch on you. So snitch plus snitch equals it's okay. And look here, man. 6ix9ine, it doesn't matter if you're wrong, if you're right. It's still not snitching at the magnitude that you did it. So for you to be still trying to plead your case and hope that everybody accepts you, and you're in a black sport and you're Mexican, you gotta understand it is what it is. The trial ain't even ended. We saw you. We heard the recordings of you throwing people under the bus that you hired to go shoot at people. We got to hear this from everybody else. So people are going to be skeptical. Now, do I think that it went how Mo is saying? No. Do I believe Trap Lil Ross? More than I don't. And I just want everybody to look at this as a lesson. Human nature, human preservation is always going to end up like this when you do crime. Lil Durk seemed like the roughest, toughest bumbleclot of the century from the trenches of Chicago. But guess what? He's trying to do a slippery slope defense that doesn't agree with the streets, but it agrees with his freedom. Yeah, he's thinking because this man told on me, I can prove that he did it because this isn't tied into this and this ain't tied to that. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's just be honest for a minute. We know they all had something to do with it, brother. It's about what you can prove. Durk knows, hey, my lawyers are gonna say that this man did it, or he's gonna allude to Vonnie doing it, and that's gonna help him get out of there. He had years to think about this. This isn't just something they just last minute did. He's had years to think about this. And guess what? Telling is telling, man. And that's what I think. If this is how it's going, that's how Durk is going to be perceived. It is what it is, man. That's why we got to stay out of trouble, bro, because it's only, if we put 10 dudes in a room, it's probably only one and a half of them that wouldn't tell. It's only one of them that is willing to sit down and do 100 years in prison and be okay with that. Everybody has a price. Everybody's freedom has a price. That's what we gotta understand. So don't ever think that your nigga is willing to sit down and do double-digit years for you. You think that they gonna sit there and let Lil Durk go free after he's the mastermind allegedly of these hits? Probably not paying people how he was supposed to be paying them. Not putting in the work, not in the trenches pulling them triggers. When you sitting in a room, in a cell, thinking about that, guess what? You know what? Forget Durk. He done made millions out here off of what we did. He need to be in here with us. That's exactly how they think. So y'all let me know, man. Is Durk a snitch? Is he wrong for telling after somebody else told on him? Is it telling what he did? Let's talk about this, man. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell. And we out, baby. Boom! Big Just LaFlare.
It's him.